Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get latest notifications.
Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope all of you are doing well. Let's start. Last time we went through the simple concept regarding evolution, how evolution occurs. We have taken the example of beetle. Then there was a color variation from red to green color, and after that there was another case when there was stamping of beetle by foot of elephant. Now one more case is that when there is same beetles showing sexual reproduction, but this time we will take same example of body color variation, but now color variation will be from red color to the blue color. When there will be sexual reproduction, some of the beetles simply show variation in the body color, but it's not that they are forming green body color, it's they are forming red, from red to blue body color variation. Is it advantageous to the beetles? No, it's not advantageous to beetle. It is simply like when there will be blue color beetle present on the green color leaf, simple crow can visualize it easily and feed itself. There will be normal simply feeding of crow on these beetles like that of the red color. This body color variation is again trait, but it didn't prove advantageous to the beetles. Again this blue color beetle falls prey to the crow, but the green color variation, that trait was simply advantageous to the beetles. That I told you last time, that is the natural selection. Same this blue color variation, body color variation, it won't be selected by the nature because it's not favorable to the beetle. This is the concept of natural selection which actually Darwin was trying to make understand regarding evolution, that it's actually nature which select traits, and those traits are proven simply advantageous to the species, those traits favor survival of species in its environment, and that we call as natural selection. This is actually natural selection which simply select traits in the nature, in the wild, that are favorable to the survival of species in its environment. Then one more case we will discuss regarding the beetles. This time the green color bushes on which beetle feed, simply there is a disease now in these green color bushes. What will happen? Simply leaves will get deformed, leaves will not be able to available to the what we call as beetles. What will happen? You will see some of the beetles will not get enough food, will not get enough feed. They will show to some extent starvation. Due to that starvation, few generations of beetles may go under starvation, may go through starvation, and we will see due to that starvation there will be loss of weight in beetles. Normally body weight will be less. Now maybe in few generations there will be same trend, that there is disease in these green color bushes and simply there is weight loss in the beetles. But now with the time disease got vanished, it's simply over now. Same green color bushes grow normally now. Again same beetles, what we call as same beetles, simply feed themselves on these green color leaves normal. Even if there were some beetles in that generation which are now feeding themselves on normal without disease bushes, you will see they will regain their weight, they will regain their normal body weight. There won't be weight loss in now this beetle population. This trait is just a trait of body. Because weight loss, when these beetles which gained weight, normal weight now by eating normal green color bushes, then they will show sexual reproduction. The new offsprings born will not show weight loss, they will go normal, because weight loss due to starvation is not the trait which is transferred from generation to generation, because it is just a somatic trait, is the trait of body, it's just a trait of body. And here we see there is also change, there was change in body weight, but this change is not like that it can cause the evolution, it can cause the evolution. That means some of the traits which simply prove advantageous to the organisms are selected by nature so that their survival will be fit in those environmental conditions. That is natural selection. And another concept was genetic drift, that there might be, due to natural calamity or the migration of a section of population, there will be elimination of certain traits due to simply natural calamity or migration of a small section of a population from a small population. That leads to the evolution. This is how actually evolution takes place, how evolution occurs. But it takes a lot of time, it takes millions of years, it takes millions of years. And in this course, when there is evolution taking place, there are two types of traits seen in the living organisms, which we call as inherited traits and acquired traits. Inherited traits and acquired traits. During the lifetime of an individual, two types of traits are seen in living organisms, inherited traits as well as acquired traits. And during the course of evolution, both these traits are seen. But with time, which traits are simply transferred from generation to generation, we don't know whether they are inherited or acquired traits. If we see that inherited traits, inherited traits, as name itself says, indicates that these are the traits which are actually transferred from one generation to another generation. Inherited traits are obtained from parents. These inherited traits are actually due to the genetic makeup, due to the genotype. For example, my eye color, for example, your body complexion, your skin complexion, your hair color, your nail shape. This trait is governed by a particular gene present in our bodies. Same, these traits, what will be the hair color of new offsprings from the parents, that will be simply governed by what is going to transfer from parents to the offsprings, that is genetic material. That means inherited traits are controlled by genes and they are obtained from parents and transferred to their offsprings. Inherited traits are the traits which are transferred from one generation to another generation and are controlled by genes and obtained from parents. Then inherited traits are actually genetic variations, and these variations are seen in the offsprings in the form of different traits. Then inherited traits are actually developed by the process of crossing over, as I already told that inherited traits are genetic variation and these variations come from crossing over. Then these are developed by the process of crossing over and rarely by the process of mutations. They are also developed by the process of mutations. And most important, inherited traits are transferred from one generation to another generation. We have different examples of inherited traits, like we have color of seed in pea plant, position of flower in pea plant, plant height, then eye color in Drosophila, then you will see eye color in human beings, hair color in human beings. All these are inherited traits and are controlled by the genes. Then another type of traits which we call as acquired traits, Name itself indicates that these are the traits which are actually acquired from the environment during lifetime, These are not due to genes, these are the traits which are simply acquired in our body due to our environment in which we are residing, in which we are residing. These simply develop during the lifetime of an individual, and actually these traits, acquired traits, are somatic variations. Somatic variation means change in body cells or change in body parts. Simple example is driving or writing. This is an acquired trait. Writing, we learn how it is going, how we have to keep pen in our hand and then show the movement. Then only we can write. This we get acquired when we learn it. Then same applies to the driving. We know how to drive, but when we learn it, when we practice it, when there is a practice, when it becomes routine, then we can simply drive a car. We can simply drive a car. But this is an acquired characters. We change movements of our body parts so that we will learn the driving. We change simply posture, position of our hands, fingers, so that we can learn writing. This is change in somatic cells, or this is change in body parts. That is why we called that acquired characters are actually somatic variations. And these acquired characters actually develop by use and disuse of the organs. How much we are using our organ, that can develop the working of that organ. Simple example, right hand. We can write very fast due to our right hand, and when we are going to write with our left hand, it will take time. Even we won't be able to write properly. Some of us won't be able to even write or to take pencil in the left hand. It's because of use of right hand for most of the work and use of left hand for specific work. This is how simply acquired characters develop due to use and disuse of organs. And most important, these traits are not transferred from parents to the offsprings, or not transferred from one generation to the another generation. Then what happens? The traits simply die with the death of an individual. These traits simply die with the death of an individual. That means driver when he simply shows the process of reproduction, his offsprings are not drivers right from the birth. No, they went through different stages of life and then learn driving, and after that they can become a driver. They are not drivers right from the birth. That means driving acquired trait vanishes with the death of a driver. Same applies to other acquired characters. This is about inherited and acquired characters. Even there was an experiment regarding acquired and inherited characters, that was simply mice. The generation of mice was taken and their tails were cut. For about, I think 16 or 60 generations of mice were taken, and after every generation tails were cut. But there were no birth of tailless mice, because that appearance of tail in mice is actually genetic character. It's due to genes, it's not due to somatic cells, it's due to germ cells, it's due to the genetic makeup. Formation of tail is already written in the information present in the DNA. We never got tailless mice even after simply cutting tails of mice for number of generations. This proves that there are inherited characters which are not changed due to other factors until and unless there won't be change in the genetic makeup. But acquired characters, they can be changed depending upon the use and disuse of the organs. This is all about the inherited and acquired characters. Inshallah, next time we will see further in the concept of evolution. Till then, stay safe, stay good.